Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome to the second Shell Eco-Marathon America's live Q&A session here on Google. With us this evening to answer your questions, we have Adrian Jurgens, who is the Technical Director for Shell Eco-Marathon Americas, as well as Anne Buchanan, who has the task of organizing logistics and communications for you, answering all your questions. And we also have Joe Redfield here, our expert from the e-mobility team. And my name is Sarah Engel. And the hangout tonight, hopefully we'll be able to go through all of your questions and make sure that everything's nice and clear before the event, which is coming up really soon. I see we have some more viewers joining, so good evening everyone who's just joining now. Thanks for joining. Tonight we'll be mostly going over logistics information and presenting and answering your questions. We have the Technical Director for Shell Eco-Marathon Americas. We have Anne Buchanan, who is responsible for student communications, as well as Joe Redfield, who is our e-mobility expert. Okay. Well, we are on time, so I suggest we go ahead and start off with the presentation. And we'll be going through some slides for you, mostly on logistics information. And after that will be a session. So please post your questions either on the Facebook group in the comment section or on the right-hand side in the chat bar on the right-hand side of the video. I'll be also monitoring questions on there. Okay, and take it away.
All right, Sarah. Thank you, and thank you everyone for joining today's call. We are looking forward to the event coming up in just a few short weeks. So as always, thank you for all of your hard work. These final few weeks, and let us know how we can help. Just have a few logistics to cover today, and before I start, I just want to point out that we are going to be posting the participant guide in just a few days, so be sure to access that. We'll share it on our Facebook and website, and that'll have all of this information and much more in that participant handbook. So first, I just wanted to jump into the shipping details. We have 2 shipping partners this year, Freeman, who many of you are familiar with. They are available to help with shipments within the United States. And Agility is a new global partner, and they can help the international teams with their shipments, brokerage, and customs paperwork. So you can access their contact information in the Phase 3 registration website if you would like to get started on your shipment, if you haven't already, and secure a quote. And we've been receiving some questions about when the shipments and vehicles can arrive at Kobo centers. So they will begin accepting vehicles and crates on April 25th at 8 a.m. And if they arrive before that date, they might be refused by the facility. So please just take note of that date. Also, here is the address for Kobo Center. So that, again, will be in the participant handbook. This slide touches on shipping dangerous goods. And we have emailed some of these details to the teams, and it's been highlighted in some of our newsletters. So we just wanted to touch on this and make sure everyone is aware that each team planning to ship crates and vehicles to Kobo Center must contact one of the shipping partners for commercial shipments. So again, teams outside of the US need to contact Agility. And Marius's email address is included here, and he can answer questions regarding dangerous goods to make sure all of your materials and vehicles are packaged safely so that there are no incidents once the vehicles are being shipped, and that everything is safe and safely packaged and approved. And for the US, the teams can contact Freeman, and we will be sharing that contact information soon. So we are requiring that all teams provide proof that they have engaged with a dangerous goods with Agility or Freeman, and that has been included in the Chapter 2 rules, and we will be collecting proof of that. So, and then on the way out, once you're shipping your vehicle home, there will be a checklist provided by our partners, and they will also have representatives on site as well to help answer everyone's questions. So again, more details to come there, but just wanted to get that on everyone's radar. Here's just kind of a high-level schedule of events and registration dates. So hopefully everyone knows that the Phase 3 deadline is March 16th. That's all of the logistics details. Just log into your profile. And it's pretty self-explanatory, pretty much the same as it has been every year, but we need personal waivers from everyone, driver's licenses from the drivers. And then we ask a lot of logistics questions just to help us plan for your arrival and make everything run smoothly. Our deadline is March 28th, so if your plans to attend the competition have changed, you must let us know by the deadline or the team will not be eligible to participate. Then on April 20th, the off-track awards are due. Those within the registration website, they are optional, but there are some great prizes available. So if you need more information about those, you can check out the Chapter 1 rules. And then once the event begins, teams can start arriving as early as Tuesday, April 25th. The campsite opens at 4 p.m. Registration opens on Wednesday, and the paddock opens Wednesday at 4. And similar schedule to how it has been in the past. Tech inspection opens on Thursday from 8 a.m. to 7. And Thursday and Friday are practice days on the indoor track. Friday is once again opening ceremonies and group photo in the morning. And then Saturday and Sunday are the competition days for the urban concept and prototype vehicles. One thing we really wanted to point out this year is a change in the tech inspection schedule. So as you can see here, on Saturday at 7 p.m., tech inspection will be permanently closed. So we will not be, tech inspection will not be open on Sunday this year. And then you can see on Sunday, we also have the Drivers World Championship Regional Americas. We'll touch on that later in the presentation, and then the award ceremony Sunday night. Another change this year is that the paddock will permanently close on 7 p.m. on Sunday. So all teams must have their vehicles and tools and everything out of the paddock this year. So please plan on doing that. And then Monday morning, the campsite closes at 9 a.m. Just a little information about travel and accommodations. We do have free camping again inside of Hall E. Showers and padding will be provided, but teams are encouraged to bring all their tents and sleeping bags. And if you choose not to stay in the campsite, we do offer a group rate at the Crown Plaza Hotel for $169 per night. You can make your reservations within the Phase 3 registration website. We have detailed parking information in the participant guide, and we are asking teams how many spaces they need, and then we'll use that information to email parking passes to everyone who needs them after the Phase 3 deadline. You can also see that Delta Airlines is offering a discounted airfare. So you can plug in the meeting code listed on the screen to the promo box, and just be sure to look at the options marked by the green flags for a discount from Delta. And then we recommend Athens and Scoot Detroit Shuttle if you need transportation to and from the Detroit airport. On-site registration, again, opens Wednesday, and just want to point out what the teams will be receiving, because we do receive a lot of questions about these items. A lot of important information will be distributed, such as the travel stipend checks. So each vehicle or each team will receive one travel stipend per vehicle, and we will be distributing those on site once you arrive. And campers will receive wristbands, team managers will receive all the name badges, and then the teams will also receive all of their vehicle stickers. So there'll be Shell pectins, partner strips, vehicle number stickers, helmet stickers. So just be aware that you will receive those on site when you arrive, and there's instructions on where those need to be placed on the car. And then another big change this year is also in regards to the meals. So please take note that we will be providing 8 lunch vouchers per team per day, and teams are responsible for their own breakfasts and dinners. And we have some suggestions of restaurants and whatnot nearby in the guide or the handbook, and there's also some vendors within Kobo Center as well. We'll be selling tires and fuel tanks on site as well. And once teams are done with student registration, they can head off to safety to get a safety wristband and watch a video, and then off to tech inspection as well. And then here's a slide just covering some off-track activities that we've put together with our partners in the area. So again, we will be sending out more details via email and registration websites so that people can sign up. One activity is the Automotive Design Master Class, and teams can have their design questions answered by some of our experts in the field. We also, once again, are offering a tour of the Henry Ford Museum in Detroit on Wednesday. Transportation will be provided. You can also take a ride in University of Michigan's autonomous driving shuttle at M-City testing facility, so more information to come there. And on Thursday, we are holding some Shell Equal Marathon talks on our live stage with some MCs, and those are similar to tech talks. So you can share your ideas and innovations on the live stage. And then I will let Adrian run through this slide about the Drivers World Championship.
Thank you, Ann. Last year, when we were playing with the Drivers World Championship, we had a practice run outside. That was done on Saturday evening. This year, we will actually be running an old event on Sunday afternoon. This is for the urban concept vehicles only. It will be the 12 top cars based on the mileage competition during the event. The rules for the DWC are available on our website. From the 12 cars, we will go down to, once we do the first timing run, it will go down to, and brake qualification, it'll go down to 8 cars. And then the 8 cars will start in a grid format. the car in position number 1 will have the shortest time during the time trials, and the last car will be the longest time during the timing run. And then the winner of the 3 winners of that competition are eligible and automatically invited to go to the grand finale in London. And because of the time situation between the Americas event and the European event, we need to have your answer within 30 minutes that you are going to do this. And if you agreed to do this, your car must stay at Detroit, and it will be shipped from Detroit straight to Europe. So the urban concept teams need to be aware of this. You will not be able to take the car back with you. It automatically has to go to London in order to be there and ready for the event. You'll be competing against the top 3 teams from Asia and from Europe. And of course, there will be a first and second place, but the number 1 winner looks like a tour or to spend a week in Maranello at the Ferrari facility. The vehicles that are going to be sent to Europe, they will automatically have to go through Agility. So Agility will be handling all the transportation for the 3 urban concept cars that are going to be a part of the grand finale. Each team will need to sign a waiver, and again, done pretty quick. So the urban concept teams that are listening, be prepared that you have to give an answer. If you are one of the 3 chosen and cannot agree to this, then we will go down to the 4th car and so on down the list. So make sure you're ready to handle this should you be one of the 3 cars that are part of the Drivers World Championship. And I will turn it back over to you.
Anne, I think you're muted, so we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see the screen here?
Yeah, all good. We can see your screen. It's working.
Okay, thank you. So just to wrap up, this is a reminder of how you can stay connected with us. And we have a Facebook group page if you're not already a member, SEM Americas. Please just request to become a member. And we also have been sending monthly newsletters to all of the registered participants. So those really have a lot of important details, reminders, tech tips, logistics. So be sure to check those emails. We also have an important information page on shell.com where we have posted Chapter 1 and 2 rules, and the participant handbook will be up soon. And of course, the tech tip videos on YouTube, which address common questions within the Chapter 1 rules, all technically focused. And of course, you can always reach us via email at ecomarathonamerica's@shell.com. So I think we were going to start with any logistics questions. I can turn it back over to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Anne. Perfect. Okay, so we can start answering some of the questions. And I will start with the first one that we received on the Facebook group as a comment. So the first question was actually a technical question. So this will be for Joe. This is from Dominic Ochoa from San Antonio College Motorsport USA. And they are in the hydrogen prototype category. So just before you answer, I can see both of you are still muted. So just make sure you unmute yourselves before you start answering. But the very first question is, what size type of fittings are required to connect a pressure regulator to the hydrogen cylinder provided?
Well, Sarah, you broke up just a little bit there, so I didn't understand the question. Could you repeat that?
Sure. So the question was, what size or type of fittings are required to connect a pressure regulator to the hydrogen provided?
Okay, that I don't have the answer to. Adrian, do you have the answer to that, or is that one we're going to need to get back with the team on?
Yeah, I do have the answer. I'm looking it up now. I've got it written down, so bear with me just a second. There we go. And it is a CGA 350. C as in cat, G as in Gary, A as in apple, 350.
CGA 350. Great, thank you for that. Next, second question. How will the hydrogen sensor be tested during inspection?
The hydrogen sensor will be checked by using essentially a cone-shaped device that will be placed over it, and we apply the low LEL low level hydrogen to it, and it should trip. That's how it will be checked. So it has to actually be checked with hydrogen.
Right, and that'll be during technical inspection at the final station.
Yes, that'll be done during inspection.
Okay. Dominic had one last question, which was, all three of our wheels mounts are mounted to the frame using U-bolts so that to adjust our hand. Will this be allowed by the judges during inspection?
Can you repeat that again, Sarah?
So he said, all three of our wheel mounts are mounted to the frame using U-bolts so that we have the ability to adjust our handling. Will this be allowed during inspection? That's kind of a hard one to answer until I can actually visualize. I'm not going to say no, it will not affect it unless we see there's some issues. But my main concern is those U-bolts better be very secure to hold it on there. So that'll have to be evaluated during the inspection. Yeah, and if you need, Dominic, if you can maybe send us an email at ecomarathonamerica's@shell.com and maybe send us some photos or some renders of the vehicle and exactly what you're thinking of doing. That'll help Adrian get a better idea to do, and it'll help him give you a more personalized answer as well. But obviously the final decisions are always taken during the tech inspection on site.
Yes. Sarah, we've got a couple of questions written in group chat. Can you see them?
Yes, I can.
By VJ?
Yeah, that was the next one I was going to come to.
Okay, thank you.
So actually, VJ's question was going to be the next one I was going to talk to you guys about. So VJ says, we are using an Arduino-based speedometer where we are using a reed switch to measure the speed of the wheels. I was wondering if we are allowed to use a separate battery to power the circuit. So this is probably a question about accessory batteries.
Yeah, this is my side of the house here, and in the rules, we indicate that there are separate devices we allow to be powered by a standalone battery. That includes the horn and any particular equipment that could be viewed as standalone data logging or telemetry equipment. Systems that are used in the management of the vehicle or management of the propulsion system, like a speedometer, that needs to be powered by either the propulsion battery from a battery electric or the accessory battery from a non-battery electric team. So the answer is that Adreno, if it is something that the driver will be using to manage the vehicle, that will need to be powered by the vehicle electrical system.
Thanks, Joe. The next question was from Mark Westlake from St. Thomas Academy. They have an urban concept vehicle, and I think they're planning on coming back to London again this year. They already came last year, and it was great having them. Hi, Mark. Hi, everyone. Wants to know if they do qualify for London, will Agility have a crate ready for shipping, or should they bring one themselves just in case?
Mark, you'll need to bring one of your own. So you'll need to have a crate ready for the car to go in.
Right, and I think from memory your crate was already well made last year. So you might use something similar, or if you have any questions about how the crate should be made, you can look at one of our tech tips about safely packing and about crates. Or you can contact Agility directly and ask them exactly what the requirements are. And the email address for that is Marius's email, which we've been sharing via the newsletter, etc. And the next question was from Rohan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He says, he's the team manager from Team GBHS from Granite Bay in California, and their vehicle is an ethanol prototype. And he would like to know if there are any rules regarding the size and placement of sponsorship stickers on our vehicle. And Rohan, that tells me that you haven't read Chapter 1 as well as you should have.
Well, the answer, yeah, Rohan, there are rules and regulation to sponsor stickers. Is in the rules, so make sure you pay careful attention to that. So if you have any questions about a particular sponsor, you can send an email with a picture of the sticker if you're unsure, and we can give you an answer. Also, any sponsor stickers cannot be larger than our Shell logo, the pectin. So that's something you need to. I am a little more lenient towards school decals, representing your school. So something like that, I give a little more leeway. But when it comes to sponsors, there are some different rules. So make sure you read that up in the rules. Next question.
Yep, all of that is in the Chapter 1. In the Chapter 1 global rule, and there's an article about vehicle identification where you can find all that information and all those details. The next question is from Mohammed. He says, we are planning on using in-wheel motors for our car. Should motors also be separated from the driver with the bulkhead?
Yes, that is, yeah. They must have a bulkhead to protect the driver's feet or legs, yes.
Right.
Any more questions?
In any case, the driver should also be isolated from. Yes, we do have another question actually that just came in from Dominic again, who asked us a few questions earlier on the Facebook group. So Dominic asks, sorry, let me just pull up the question. He says, our pressure regulator has a needle valve directly connected to the outlet. Does that need to be replaced with the emergency shutdown valve?
The emergency shutdown valve should be a separate piece from the regulator. And they're relatively inexpensive, and it's easy enough to do. But if usually on the regulators there is a bleed off valve, but we want a shutdown valve. In other words, the flow of hydrogen has to be cut off. The button is pushed.
Great, thanks, Adrian. Okay, let me check if we have any other. I don't see any more questions waiting, neither on the Facebook group nor in the chat. So if any of you still have any questions left, be it technical or logistics questions. Oh, just got another one from Rohan again. Rohan is making the most of this chat. Let's see. Asks, we are fabricating a canopy for our vehicle. Does it need to be attached to the body at all times, meaning when the driver is exiting the vehicle, or is it allowed to be detachable?
The canopy is allowed to be detachable, and considering the driver needs to get out of there, that's the biggie. So yes, it has to be detachable.
Right, but I think it's also maybe important to make sure that they know that the canopy of any material move or change shape. So it needs to be a relatively solid material. So it can't be, light plastic that'll change if it's windy or anything like that. It needs to properly protect the driver when they're in the car.
That's correct.
Let's see.
Any more questions?
Another one by Hurt. I don't see any more questions coming in. Let's get and see if we have any more questions, and otherwise we will be able to give everyone some of their time back this afternoon. I don't see any more questions coming in on the Facebook group.
Does anybody have any?
I got a couple more now.
Okay.
So I got another one from Mohammed, who says, I think this is a classic scene, which is, how much deformation of the roll bar is allowed for static load testing during technical inspection? Is there a number?
We don't want any deflection at all. It needs to be a pretty solid roll bar, because if event that vehicle rolls over, it must protect that driver. So, granted, when you push down on it, if it moves a couple of millimeters, we're not going to be upset, but it needs to be stout and rigid. That's a safety piece. That's a biggie.
Great, thanks. And if you need more information on the roll bar, we have a tech tip video about the roll bar, which could be useful to you, Mohammed. So don't forget to check those tech tips out. We have a whole bunch of them, and I think they're all super useful and really interesting. We have another question that has just come in from, I don't know, I don't have the actual person's name. Does the shutoff valve need to shut off the engine instantly, or can a couple of seconds of delay happen as there is still fuel in the line after the shutoff? So this team is running on a diesel engine.
The answer to that question can be yes and no, and that's one of those that has to be evaluated during the inspections. It is a judgment call by our team once we push the button to see actually how long it takes. It's very important that engine shut down fairly quick. And I mean, we prefer a second, but 1 or 2 seconds, yeah, we can live with. It can't be 5 and 6 seconds. So there again, it's evaluated during the inspection.
And Adrian, if I could add something to that, for a team that's considering their fuel shutoff valve and the location of it, that should be a really strong factor in where you put it to minimize the amount of fuel that is available to keep the engine running after it's shut down.
That's a good point.
Great, thank you both for your answers. Okay, guys, going once, going twice. Are there any more questions about logistics or any more technical questions for Adrian and Joe? I'll give it another minute. See if anything else comes through. Otherwise, I think we can say goodbye for today.
Well, while they're thinking, I kind of want to remind the teams of a couple items. You know, as always, we want to remind the teams to make sure they understand the rules. Make sure you're reading them and clearly understand them. If you have any doubt or anything you're just not fully understanding, get your question in, and we will get that answer to you right away. Second, I want to make sure those who are on this hangout that they understand what we had mentioned earlier, that technical inspection will close Saturday at 7 p.m. and that's it. It's over. So if you haven't made it to inspection, essentially it's over for you. There's no keep it open for 2 or 3 hours longer. So I want to make sure every teams are understanding this. They need to get to the site and get through inspection as soon as possible. That is going to be very critical to you. I'm trying to think what else. Also, for the team leaders and drivers that are also in this hangout, make sure you're attending the morning drivers briefings, because that is going to be very important to you. If you fail to attend one of the mandatory meetings, you will not be able to participate in the competition for that particular day. If the team leader is not there, but the driver is, that still disqualifies drivers. If you have 2 drivers and one does not show up, that one driver did not show up, is the only one disqualified. I also plan to do a virtual tour of the track. I believe that's set for Thursday evening for the drivers that would like to sit in, and we will go over the track, kind of answer your questions as best we can, just kind of show you what to expect. Sarah.
Yes, actually, I have one more, which I think Anne can answer from Rohan. So Rohan's team is based in the U.S., and they will be commercially shipping their vehicle to Detroit. To know, should we contact Freeman? Is there a deadline?
You know, I believe there is a deadline. I don't know it off the top of my head, and I think I just got an email with that information. So if you'd like to send an email to EcoMarathonAmericas@shell.com, I can send you this file that just came through that should answer that. But I would just encourage you to go ahead and contact Freeman now and not wait just to get a quote. And they can definitely also answer your question about the deadline and any other questions you have. But sooner the better on that process.
Yeah, and actually you should be getting finding a lot more information about shipping in the participant handbook, which will be available online to download this week. So just keep an eye out on the Facebook post announcing the participant will be available on the important information page, which hopefully you're all familiar with by now, where you can also find the Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 rules, as well as track information. So just keep an eye out for that, and make sure that you already contact Freeman. Cost anything to contact them and see conditions are and what the quote looks like. Okay, I think that's all the questions we have for today.
Well, Sarah, this is Joe. One of the things that I wanted to take advantage of the viewers we have for this hangout to mention something that I've been seeing a lot of questions come in from different teams from the different events. One, to remind those teams that have urban concept vehicles that they need to install a DC to DC converter to power the telemetry equipment that will be installed in your urban concept vehicle. So that's one, don't forget that one, because that will be a key point that's needed to participate in the Drivers World Challenge and in the urban concept category. Just as a reminder, that's all.
Great, thanks, Joe. And Adrian, do you have any last words before we finish for today?
And you go first.
Well, mine are pretty simple. Just make sure you get all of your phase 3 requirements completed by March 16th. Be aware of the dropout deadline, and please read the participant guide as soon as it's posted for all of the important logistics information. And of course, we're always here if you have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, again, get your questions in. You may think it's a little far off before we get to Detroit, but I assure you, it's only about eight away, folks. So again, it would be a good idea to start contacting Freeman or Agility, depending on your circumstances now, to get that information up front so you know how to handle your shipments. Again, I want you to understand that technical inspection will close a day earlier. I know that may put some teams uneasy, but we need to do this, considering it's a packed 4 days for this event, and we have so much going on. It's some exciting things, and I really hope that the prototype teams would hang around and actually see the Drivers World competition. I think you'll find it exciting. You may give you some ideas about doing an urban concept yourself, because it's actually a race. So it's the first one across the finish line. So, Joe?
Nope, nothing else for me.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for those last words. Very useful. I hope all the teams have heard you loud and clear. So please make sure that you complete phase 3 and submit it early. You know, that wouldn't hurt, and would definitely help us out looking for you and making sure that I'm in Detroit with us. Also, make sure you read the rules, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, the participant handbook, which will be out really soon. They have all the information you need in there. Please make sure you read the newsletters we send out to you. Don't hesitate to join the Facebook group as well if you're not already part of it. So there's a lot of different ways for you to stay updated and stay informed on everything, the event. Make sure that you are reading everything and joining everything that you need to be reading and joining. Thank you all so much for joining this evening. Thanks for taking the time. We really hope it was useful to you. And this video will actually be available on YouTube as soon as we go off air. So as soon as we're done with this hangout, this video will be viewable on YouTube as much as you like. If there's anything that so share it with your team members, with your teammates, if you think that there's anything useful in there for them. And on that, I wish you all a very nice evening, and thanks again for joining. And see you all in Detroit very, very soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.